Four Knights of the Apocalypse Chapter 212 is officially out, and this was a rather chill chapter, while also confirming a couple of things in terms of character relationships, introducing us to a character we haven't seen since pre-time skip, as well as just showing the downtime between each of these different characters. And I'll get to it in the actual review, but a lot more emphasis on Nasiens and looking kind of different. We'll get into that with the actual chapter. But before we dive into it, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for updates on future videos. Really helps, and it shows you guys enjoy the content I make here on the channel. It shows you want to see more. And if you want to see more of me, go and check out my manga podcast, Shonen Pulse, over on the panel-focused YouTube channel, where me, Nox, Yatsugami, and Papa Trophy talk about 9 manga from 3 different magazines on a weekly basis. A lot of fun, a lot of good discussions we have for every single series we talk about. If you read anything we talk about, you might like what we say, or might have something to add to the conversation, or maybe you're interested in what we talk about and want to pick up one of the series we end up talking about. Link to that will be in the description down below. And I also have a second channel for myself called GW Comics, where I talk about comic books. Right now, I'm kind of mixed on what I'm covering. I'm planning to focus more on DC going forward, but I have some other stuff planned in the future as well. It's a passion project of mine, and I would really appreciate if you guys go and check it out. Link to that will also be in the description down below. Now then, on with the chapter. Chapter 212 of Four Knights of the Apocalypse, titled Mismatched Lovers. And the cover image is of An, Nasiens, and a mysterious third girl on the cover, with An and Nasiens obviously being really close, with changing of fashion. With this actually goes into what the change with Nasiens in this chapter, quote unquote, which is something obvious from the previous arc, but is getting even more emphasized here, with Nasiens actually being a woman, seemingly. So I'll probably start referring to Nasiens as a girl going forward, unless, you know, Nasiens wants to like stay being treated as a guy. We'll go into that as things progress further. But the chapter starts off with Percival waking up from his sleep, jolting awake, wondering where he is, and is told that he is in Leonis, as Lancelot is just sitting there on the couch, waiting for Percival to wake up, as he was reading a book, and the man just cannot stop aura farming for 5 seconds. He is just sitting in the seat, and the aura he exudes is still immeasurable. He is going to be up there with Piccolo someday as a aura farmer of history. But Lancelot says that Percival's been out for 3 days, and kind of snickers, saying, "I had enough time to go back home for a bit and chill," which that's actually kind of funny, considering that we've had a lot of stuff with Lancelot over the last couple of chapters. But yeah, Percival's been out for 3 days, and so now we're back to Leonis. Percival asks on an update for everybody. Donnie is still asleep, and the others are kind of doing their own thing right now, and so Lancelot offers to go and look for them. As then cut to Nasiens, who is working with Hendrickson at the pharmacy, at his herbalist shop, with making new medicines and herbs with him, which honestly really nice mentor-student relationship with the two of them. It's honestly really nice. But as the two of them are getting comfortable talking about making medicines and everything, and Nasiens helping out Hendrickson the second they come back, Hendrickson just point out blanks if there's something different with Nasiens, which shocks her, because, well, Hendrickson says, "Well, I don't know. You seem kind of the same to me. Nothing seems out of ordinary. Just like a lot of the nurses have been saying that you've been different for some reason," which just completely shocks Nasiens, as Hendrickson is completely just unknown of like Nasiens' whole situation. But then someone calls out for Hendrickson, who is the doctor, saying they're here to pick up that cut and contusion ointment for the Holy Knight trainees, as we get a panel close-up of boobs. Yeah, Nakaba chose fan service when he woke up to write this chapter, apparently, as we get some, well, many different shots in this chapter, this particular character that we'll get to see. But apparently Hendrickson introduces her as a person that escaped Camelot 2 years ago, and now she's one of his nurses, as for some reason we get a between the legs shot. Again, fan service for this chapter, I guess, so if you like it, you like it. I ain't gonna judge. As we get the reveal that this character that is being introduced and has escaped Camelot 2 years ago is Rosebank's of all characters, which I honestly completely forgot about her after Percival's whole attempted self-deletion essentially. But yeah, I completely forgot about her. I forgot they took her prisoner. but it seems that she completely defected. Guess this means she didn't have a mark of the gate for Camelot, otherwise she'd be dead by now. So I wonder how that's going to go. This also potentially gives us hope that maybe we might see Nanashi coming back into the story at some point. He's probably a prisoner, because despite how he has concerns for Arthur's change in the meter and outlook, he's still very loyal to him, so there's that. But honestly, Rosebank's getting introduced is interesting, because I was not expecting her to come back. It is welcome to a degree, because I kind of hope we get some more for her character. We got a bit of that in Demon Realm, but that was mostly towards her repaying the debt to Percival for a brief instance, falling for him seemingly, adding to the Percival harem. So, yeah, there's a lot. Also, yeah, apparently Nakba decided in 2 years Rosebank just became incredibly thick for some reason. At least the guy's experimenting with body types, to a degree, I guess. But upon seeing Nasiens, Rosebank said it's been a while, but also immediately clocks that something's up with Nasiens. Obviously, the clothing from the cover page is also the clothing that Nasiens is wearing right now in this chapter, which is a bit more feminine, if I'm gonna be honest, which honestly looks great on Nasiens. But as Nasiens goes with Rosebank to deliver the ointmented medicine to the Holy Knight trainees, since she's helping out with Hendrickson at the clinic, apparently she's also been helping out on the front lines against Chaos Knights right now, so she fully defected. So it still means that she is, in fact, fighting in her own way. So that's good. She's not taken off the front lines for fighting, considering that she was introduced as a capable fighter pre-time skip. So the bare minimum, we'll potentially get to see her fight going forward. Also, this also makes sense why Nasiens was shocked to see Rosebanks, as apparently she's been in Leonis for past 2 years. Nasiens has been in the fairy realm for 2 years, so it makes sense why she wouldn't know that Rosebanks has been in Leonis helping out and defected from Camelot. So sometimes I don't know the exact metric of time between Percival's death and Nasiens going to the fairy realm, but it was definitely enough time for Rosebanks to fully defect. But either way, Nasiens asks Rosebanks why she defected from Camelot, and that she never expected her to defect in the first place and switch sides. She says that it's mainly for the two kinds of people that are in Camelot right now. People who think all those illusions are real and live with them, and those who know that these fake iterations of their loved ones are fake, but decide to keep on living in the past in their own fantasies, not really living with the losses. And so that's kind of been irking her, even though Nasiens says I can't necessarily label that as a bad thing, but she kind of gets it. But Rosebanks has come to the realization that, well, there's a real world too, and they don't even try to reach an understanding with it, and she can't accept it, and she never will. And if it wasn't for them, Percival would still be alive, as she clenches her fists. Before I move on, I really like that she's come to the realization of the truth of Camelot and chose to fight against it. Chances are it might have been Nanashi while they were in prison just telling her the full truth of what the true nature of Camelot is. But I really feel like, despite this being a post-time skip thing, this is one of the things that I kind of wish we kind of got to see, like the growth of Rosebanks to realizing that Camelot is just a massive illusion to it being fake, and thus swapping sides to try and wake people up and fight against the obviously kind of twisted sense of happiness that Camelot has kind of founded itself on and turned into. That could have been a really nice character study to go into, but I guess not being part of the actual main cast, Nakba decided not to really focus on that and just have to be an off-screen thing. I do hope that Rosebanks, if she does become a part of the core cast going forward, that she does kind of, how should I put this, show her development and her apprehensions against Chaos Knights to show her growth and change her perspective. That's just me. She might just be a background character coming in and out every now and again, but who knows? I could be surprised. I didn't expect her to come back post-time skip anyway, but here we are. But after reminding herself of Percival's death, and that is seemingly being a part of her defection, plus everything she just mentioned, she turns to Nasiens, asking that she's been hearing some convincing rumors that Percival is alive, and goes to ask Nasiens if they're true, but before she can finish, we just see a really wholesome smile off Nasiens, basically confirming that, yeah, Percival is alive. And before we see any more of that conversation, we jump straight to the Holy Knight training grounds as a bunch of Holy Knight trainees, one of which looking like Alex Louise Armstrong from Full Metal Alchemist, the GOAT, just gets knocked around as well, and apparently Pelio's telling the person doing this to take a break and sit down, as apparently it's on. She's beating the crap out of all these trainees because she is beside herself and frustrated that she couldn't do anything to help out the 4 knights who were fighting against the 4 perils, and that she was basically a drag the entire time. She was a hindrance to the point where she couldn't do anything when Percival was taking control over and was trying to hurt her. I added that last part. I do think that's kind of part of her reasoning as well. And so, yeah, she's kind of frustrating and taking it all out in terms of training. But Pelio says that she really should take it easy and not kind of hold it towards the trainees, which she then asks Pelio to spar with him. But Pelio says, me? But, I mean, you know, as he tries to get out of it, An asks, is this because I'm a girl? Are you kind of looking down on me because of that? As Pelio's trying to say no. But right as An's ability takes effect and plants Pelio into the ground for lying, Isolde shows up to see An, as the two of them get together to start to talk and hang out, as the Holy Knights are just surrounding Pelio, being crushed by the weight of his own lie. But it's then that An notices something, an earring on Isolde's ear, as she is then completely shocked, as she grabs Isolde's hand and goes away so they can talk for a second. Oh, well, Pelio is still being crushed in the background by her ability, as he just admits that, yeah, I look down on you, please undo this, you're crushing the ever-living hell out of me. So, we don't see how that resolves, but I assume Pelio was let go, which, again, nice little bits of comedy in this chapter I really do appreciate. Downtime chapters, you know? As then, An and Isolde talk off on the side over what's happened, as the earring she's wearing matches the one from Tristan and is wondering if it's a gift from Tristan. But Isolde, blushing this entire time, says no, not him. It does match his, but it was from Queen Elizabeth. She's the one who gave it to me. With An being like, okay, so it wasn't Tristan himself. He's really a kid still, so, but then she realizes that it was the Queen that gave her, and saying, wait, his parents are okay with the two of you? And obviously referring to the fact that the two of them are essentially going out now, so, and confess their feelings to each other. Also, something I need to find, there is a bonus chapter where it kind of does show, like, that time after the match when Tristan got his memories back. Another instance of Tristan and Isolde, basically getting very romantic and kissing. I would love to make a separate short on that at some point in the future. I'll try and find that. But we get a singular flashback of Elizabeth telling Isolde thank you, and that Tristan wouldn't have come back without her, and that she knows that she'll keep supporting her son going forward. As An is just beside herself, giddy and blushing the entire time with everything that happened, and she's like, wait, so did the prince say he loves you? What did he tell you? As Isolde's face goes bright red, saying that she's sorry and that she's preferred to keep that locked within her own memories. As An just has this blank look on her face. Okay, so I'm convinced they banged. You don't say something like that without it being a bit more than just making out. So I would not be surprised that after Tristan woke up and got approval from his parents, his inner Meliodas, I guess, took flight in an instance when they got alone together. That might not have happened, but you don't make a face like An's unless you clock that maybe your friend basically got together in that instance. So, that's kind of funny and interesting confirmation if that is it, or it's headcanon for all I know. And if not, no big deal. Who cares? But An says, well, that sure is nice. As the two of them continue to walk going forward, saying that she can't help but wonder how Percival feels about her. With Isolde saying that Percival's definitely very fond of her, but she says, yeah, most likely as a friend. As she says, why don't you just go ask Percival about this and tell him how you feel? But An, rightfully, if I'm being honest with you, says that if she did, he's basically kind of like still a kid to a degree. He's probably not going to understand any of her feelings and how to deal with them or properly respond in that aspect. So, yeah, I kind of get that. The kid's been a hick for 16 years, was gone for 2 of them, and he basically doesn't understand the type of romantic love to a degree, or at least to accept someone's feelings and realize his own. At least that's how we all think how Percival is. And also acknowledging Nasiens as a very fearsome rival to her in terms of Percival's affection. But, unbeknownst to her, she does kind of have another rival in Rosebank. As once they turn the corner, they come to meet Nasiens and Rosebank. as they meet up, saying what they're doing there. But yeah, that's how it is. But An looks over at Nasiens, with Nasiens wondering if there's something on her face, with An just giggling, saying, no, never mind. Obviously, being the fact that she can clock that Nasiens is just kind of embracing, I guess, her feelings for Percival now, and is kind of seemingly more open, and I guess with the more feminine looking appearance to a degree, and I guess starting to be more okay with the shift that she's going through right now, so I kind of want to explore this more. Then again, not gonna might fumble this for all I know and not go into any real nuances or handle it right, but I choose to hold out hope. But as everybody's together, Percival shows up with Lancelot as he's coming to check up on them, as An and Nasiens smile saying hi to Percival, but it's then that Rosebank takes the initiative, and to the entire group's shock, she jumps over and hugs him, saying that she's glad he's safe, with Nasiens kind of blushed and concerned, while An is just kind of arced, turned to stone, Isolde just kind of acting like, oh dear, this might complicate things, and Lancelot just whistling like, you dog. Which the unparalleled riz of Percival still needs to be studied. But as she goes over to hug him, Percival realizes that this is Rosebank's, and she kind of remembers the point where he helped save her life 2 years ago in the demon realm despite everything going on, and she's just been waiting to tell him how she's felt ever since. Most likely ever since the fight ended, but still. Now Isolde instantly realizes what's about to happen, as Rosebank instantly confesses her love for Percival 100%. She then continues on by saying it's not what he probably expected after seeing her after all this time, but she's never met someone like him before, and so kind of wants to get together and be partners with him. But Percival has no clear idea what she means by this and everything that's going on. Obviously, again, country bumpkin doesn't understand a lot of social cues and concepts, with obviously Lancelot reading his mind and telepathically telling him she kind of means like your mate, dude, which I guess Percival understands to a degree, and I guess Lancelot just chose, let me just be as vague as possible or as simple as possible for Percival to understand to understand what's going on in this instance. Good helping out Percival here, but I think I don't know if he fully understood this. He could have explained it a bit better in his head. But Percival puts Rosebank down and says that he is glad to hear this from her, with An and Nasiens thinking that Percival is basically about to say that he has feelings for her too and kind of accepting that. But he then ends the chapter with a bombshell saying that he's sorry, but he actually is someone that he already is in love with An and Nasiens obviously being shocked at the end of this chapter. And yeah, the chapter ends with that. So this was a relatively chill chapter. I really enjoyed it. Reintroduction to Rosebanks, and the Percival harem continues to make things, I guess, a bit interesting to a degree. I like An and Nasiens' more friendly rivalry to a degree. It's honestly really refreshing, as it not being, misunderstandings, hatred over this stuff. It's something that you kind of tend to see in shonen series when they try and do relationships like this between characters in this type of thing. So I know it's not like a big breakthrough, but it's something that doesn't feel like forced antagonism towards each other. Rosebanks definitely threw a wrench into things to a degree, but I wasn't expecting Percival to say that he is in love with somebody. Granted, it's Percival we're talking about. He probably means it by some other way. There's no way he's gonna confess actual feelings of romance to somebody, or even if he does, to say it right now for all we know. So this can mean something entirely. Or he's lying to spare her feelings, which that doesn't sound like Percival at all. I know there's probably going to be one person saying that, but I doubt that's the case. Either way, I'm curious to see what's going to happen with the next chapter after this revelation. Also, progression for Tristan and Isolde, really nice. Tristan has his girl, and they seem to be happy right now with parents approving it. Did not expect this chapter to be more romance focused, but hey, downtime chapters, characters being in the same spots or city for a long enough time, you're gonna get these moments of development, and I do appreciate it. But what do you guys think of this chapter? Leave your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below on the growing complications of this big relationship with Percival and the rest of the girls. Tell me about what you think about Tristan and Isolde, as well as what do you think the future of the series is going to going forward from here. And also, did you expect for the main focus of this chapter to be kind of interpersonal romance? Let me know. And what's more, if you haven't already, like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for updates on future videos. Really helps, and it shows you guys enjoy the content I make here on the channel, and shows you want to see more. I'm actually kind of shocked I made a video that's roughly 20 minutes long that was basically a slice of life romance chapter. The more you know, instant surprises. But with all that said and done, hope you all have an awesome day.